Hey everyone, Ethan Allen here. I am back in Everglades National Park, which is on the very southern tip of Florida. And last time I was here, I paddled the 100-mile Wilderness Waterway, which is a water trail that goes all the way from the southern end to the north end of Everglades National Park. This time I'm back and doing a little more car camping and a little more hiking, but I'm doing a couple of overnight paddling trips. And this one that I'm doing right now is to the Hells Bay Chickee. A chickee is essentially like a man-made raised platform. Kind of looks like a dock. Because as you can see all around here, it's just all mangroves. So there's no real solid land to pitch a tent. So the National Park System has kind of built all these chickees, that's what they're called, to camp on. So I did that last night. Now I'm headed back to the Hells Bay trailhead. And I'm going to show you some footage of my trip. I actually just got done seeing some dolphins that were feeding while I'm kayaking. That was pretty cool. And there's some serious mangrove tunnels that I've had to navigate. And in a 17-foot sea kayak, it's a little tricky. But it is fun. It's like a maze of mangroves out here. And it is just gorgeous. So here's some footage of the trip. Hope you enjoy. Thanks. I figured I'd mention a couple things here. First of all, you notice I'm wearing my neck gaiter up over my mouth and my nose, and that's not to protect myself from COVID from the alligators, but to protect from the sun. And right there you see I took my paddle apart, and that's because when you get in some of these tight mangrove tunnels, if you have one end of your paddle in the water, the other end is up hitting the branches. So you have to take your paddle apart and paddle more like a canoe. And it's definitely a little trickier and a little more slow going, but it's what you gotta do in order to get through some of these tight spaces. And then you'll see coming up on your right, my left, there's a white pole, and that actually marks the trail. So you get to one and then you find the next one, you paddle towards it, and you definitely don't want to get off course because sometimes you might have to turn around, and in these tight spaces in a 17-foot kayak, it's not so easy. So you definitely want to always follow the white poles to stay on course. And here we are at the Hells Bay Chickee. This is where I camped for the night. And usually these things have a ladder or some stairs or something to help you get up onto the platform. Yeah, this one didn't. And I gotta tell you, trying to get up there from a sea kayak is pretty tricky. Like, you can't just really stand up and get up onto the platform. So it definitely took some imagination, but I did it without getting wet. Fortunately, the next morning, I had some chickee mates who were staying over on the other side, and they were kind enough to help me back into the kayak the next morning so I didn't fall into the water, with alligators and sharks, which swimming is not really recommended. But I was treated to this gorgeous sunrise the following morning. Definitely one of the highlights of the trip was coming across this pod of dolphins that were feeding. And I gotta tell you, it was a little unnerving seeing them at first, only seeing their dorsal fins, thinking they might be sharks, but then I saw them blowing air out of their blowholes, so I knew that they were dolphins. Because this is considered brackish water, so it's a mixture of salt and fresh water, so there may be sharks in here. But these were definitely dolphins, and it was so cool to be able to kayak with them as they were feeding. Remember, always follow the white poles. Even if you don't really see an opening, there's an opening. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I can hear the road coming up, so I think it's about time for me to call this trip a wrap. The round trip was 16 miles, so it was 8 miles one way to the Hells Bay Chickee, and then 8 miles back out the same way. I didn't really see as many gators as I thought I would, but I'm sure they're here. They probably saw me, even though I didn't see them. But really, that's fine, because when you're in a kayaking with gators, I think I'll pass. But Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And hope you enjoyed. And hey, till next time, see ya. And one last thing, this is the kayak put in. So right away, you're right in the thick of it. Pretty awesome. See you guys.